Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of your favorite program, Education Exchange on Public Access TV and City of Iowa City Channel 4, as well as YouTube. Tonight we have Carol and we have Sujat directing our program, of course with the help of our great friend, Mr. Michael Peterson. And it looks like Iowa City for the first time now have a springtime.
Today was wonderful.
A very, very long winter. So we are enjoying the springtime today. Yesterday was the Mother's Day. And we have the honor of having with us elementary school leadership, represented by an old friend of mine, Judy Robinson, who has been now for 5 years probably on MAN.
Finishing my 4th year.
Yeah, and before that, long history in Iowa City School District. You're one of the builders here.
Wow, since 1985.
And we were lucky that you concluded the renovation of the wonderful MAN School, one of the pillars of education in this city. Historic building.
Yeah, it was fun to watch the graphics of the different schools come on and to see MAN, because that's what it looked like when we left. We've been in our temporary home on Barrington Street,
Right.
Barrington Road, for this past school year, and so we're very excited to move back in August. If you've driven by Dodge Street and Church Street, you can see the changes that have been made, and I think they've done an amazing job keeping the historical structure of MAN Elementary. It's a 102-year-old building. The windows are amazing. They've matched the brick so well, and the inside is beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
seven MAN in Longfellow in 1917.
Yes.
That's the year they were built, and they are beautiful schools.
Yeah, they really did a nice
Seven
job
is
keeping.
gone now. Seven is history, but we still have Longfellow and we still have MAN.
Right.
And we are honored to have Lady Esther Anania with us tonight.
Yes.
She is the family youth advocate. Of course, you correct my title if you like. But I know that you are a student family advocate, right? That's
Yes.
your job. And on your right-hand side, wonderful writer, a famous writer and kindergarten teacher, Stacy Med. So, Julie, take over now and tell us about this wonderful Family Leadership Institute and the museum.
Okay.
Let's start with the museum first.
All right. Well, I brought Stacy and Lottie Yester with me today because, like I said, we're very excited about moving back into our building. And we're very excited about 2 new programs that will be moving back to the building with us. The first one I brought Stacy to talk about. She authored a wonderful grant through the ICCSD Foundation that's going to actually bring a museum into our building.
And the special thing about this museum is that its contents will come from our wonderful families that we have at MAN. And sometimes we think, that the background knowledge of students, sometimes that comes readily to us and we can incorporate it into the curriculum. And sometimes we have to dig a little bit deeper. And our goal is to make sure that all families know that their background knowledge is valued and it can be used. We can incorporate it into our curriculum. So our plan is to have families bring resources. They can be from celebrations, they can be from artistic creations, music, family experiences, trips, tools, anything that families value. We want to show that we value those things too. And we're going to have students be the tour guides, and we'll write some curriculum connections to those different items. And we hope that it's an ongoing thing from year to year, and it will change. The exhibits will change as the funds of knowledge of our families change. And we're really excited to have it in our new building. It's a great time because Man is going to encompass more families now. We have families coming in that haven't been Man Mustangs before, and we can't wait to find out what everybody has to offer our school.
I wonder, how did the idea came about? How did you decide about this
Well, the
program?
idea came about because Stacy has about 100 ideas a day that she wants to try, and all of them are really good. And this one was based on the Children's Museum, which we hope to incorporate some of their things, but I'll let you.
Yes. So we walked through the Children's Museum and the Curiosity courtyard that's on the top floor at our Children's Museum in Coralville. We walked through and thought they have things in an alphabetical order, and they have many different artifacts. And so it's Curiosity Courtyard, so of course it piqued my curiosity, and I knew that Julie was somebody who's always up for new ideas and new challenges, and the district offers excellence grants, and so we wanted to do something innovative that perhaps hadn't been done before. And I've always been interested, as are all the incredible staff members at Man and other schools throughout the district, about incorporating the knowledge that kids bring to school. And so this seemed like a perfect fit, and we already have really active, our student family advocate does a lot to bring in families and make them feel comfortable and make them feel powerful, which she's going to talk about in a little bit. And we want the kids to know that they really are experts on so many things. We may not know it yet, but it's our professional obligation to find out and use those connections for reading, writing, math, science, whatever we can think of. That's one of our responsibilities.
Well, thank you. Before we introduce Ladiesa to talk about more details, thank you for bringing the Children's Museum, by mentioning it, because I think I did the first mural when they were building this.
Oh, wonderful.
And I took my kids from the alternative school, and we did a huge mural. It's still there, racetrack and faces, and you can
yes.
see it's still there. But we were really honored by having that. And I'm plugging something personal, but it's about kids again, doing
Yes.
things for the community.
Yeah,
Now it has been there for, let us say, 20 years now.
it's been
This
there a long
mural,
time.
more than 20 years.
Yeah, and the art there really is
Yeah.
inspiring to us, and we hope to draw a lot of ideas from them as far as how we exhibit the different talents and experiences of our families. And we want it to be just as colorful and interactive as the Children's Museum is. And great thing is
Super.
we'll create it with and for our families and students. So we're
And
excited
maybe
about
we'll
that.
call you to
Yeah.
do the art.
I'd be very happy to participate.
And I think just, the last thing I would like piggyback over is, I think one of the things that makes Man such a special place, at least in my heart, is the diversity that we have from kids that come from all over the world. And the other day, I was talking to some fifth graders who'd had a little bit of drama going on, and we were doing it. And I looked around the room and I said, do you realize there were people from 4 continents sitting in this room having this discussion? And we had a student from Algiers, a student from the Netherlands, a student from Honduras. And I think that's just such a special experience. And to be able to tie that in to a museum that brings that international flavor even more to our school, we're really excited about.
And we hope that the kids and anybody who visits Man can see the similarities that we're gifted with, but also the differences,
Right.
and celebrate all of that.
That's the merit of diversity.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Esther, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about a new program that we start this year, and it's called Family Leadership Institute. And it was this lady from Mexico. She was born in Texas. She is from, her parents were immigrant from Mexico, and she said that she dedicated this workshop to her mom because her mom always told her, you have to show your culture and you have to be educated as a Hispanic woman. She joined the Army. She was there for 20 years. She worked for the Army for 20 years, and now she's training all these other people around the country and training them that they can train parents in this Family Leadership Institute. And we start this year in Honduras. If you can see some pictures they're gonna have. But she have really good create this curriculum, and it have 10 sections. And the first one was home, where leadership start. So we have some parents coming to Horace Mann every Tuesday, and we were learning how, as a parent, they can be the first leader for the children, and showing them how leadership starts at home. So we did a lot of activities, and if you can see the pictures when you show the picture.
We are going to show them, yeah.
When the
for
pictures.
sure.
So we did one lesson, but if I can read the, so there's 10 sections that we're gonna keep going next school
And we
year.
have already one of them.
So,
right
yeah,
on the
if you can
screen,
see,
yeah.
they dedicated this parent after working all day. They come and do this activity and learning. The first one where leadership begin. They did a lot of activities. They learn how, as a parent, they can be leader for the children, and teaching them how at home they have to be really strong as a family, and then they can be strong at school, and they keep going with education. The other topic will be past, present, and future. Then living in two worlds, that's another section that they will be learning. The other one will be storytelling, education. When they come to this topic of education, we're gonna visit the University of Iowa and go around and learning what do the children need to do in order to get to college. The other one will be college field trip, improving family and school relationship, facing challenges at home, creating a family action plan, and celebrating family academic excellence. So they come every night, and we do different workshops. We learn in this first section, they learning about what are the characteristics of a leader as a parent, and then they got together and be positive. We're learning how to every morning get up and tell their children, you are smart, you are strong, and you can learn. Telling really positive stuff. You look beautiful today. I love you. And we have one parent that she say, you told me what you did, and I told my high school, I love you. This morning you wake up so beautiful, and your hair looks so beautiful. And she say, Mom, are you okay? There's something wrong with you. And I say, see, being so positive with our children and showing that we as a parent have to be the one telling them, you are strong, you are smart, you can do it. So that's what we're learning during this workshop, and we will continue next school year. But you can see they come every night dedicating and learning different kind of leaders. They're learning about the characteristic, like I say, of a leader. And then at the end, we have a little celebration. They get a little diploma that they already passed to the first section, that it was called Leadership Begin from Home.
I see they are multi-age.
Yes.
Right?
And the children were coming, and they saw how their mom got their first section done, and they were so proud to see their mom learning. They were sitting, all of them, because I showed all the picture how their parents, they were doing the workshop. They were really excited, and that their parents were learning too, as they were learning. So I think so, like Horace Mann, I'm so happy that these parents are really positive, coming and learning, because I know all the children, the teachers are doing all the teaching and everything, and teaching them. So my job is to work with the parents, and then we can do a good partnership, teachers with children, and then we with the parents. So it's a really nice program.
Super.
Yeah. And I think as just Lottie Esther talked, you saw a lot of nice connections between the two things that we're going to do. And our hope is that this group that comes to work on the Family Leadership Initiative can also take some of the leadership roles for the museum and practice the leadership skills that they're learning with Lottie Esther as we set up the museum.
And it was very fun to watch I observed a couple of the classes while they were going on. And it was very almost overwhelming to see the confidence grow from the beginning. The first session, when people were a little fearful and maybe not as comfortable in that academic situation, and then by the end, really owning it and believing, not only taking the classes, but believing that they are leaders, which is so true. And we've seen differences in the kids.
So you
too.
can see the immediate change or
Absolutely.
progress.
Yeah. And I think so they got really good the message that you have to be the leader for your children, or your children will follow those leaders that you don't want them to follow. So that's when we did a lot of activity with that, and they say, yeah, it is true. We need to be the leader for them, because then they will follow the bad leaders. So we learned really good, and I think so they got the message, and they say, no, I want to be the leader for my children, that they can take it on, and they need to be strong. So I kind of like how they were really participating, they were really engaged in this
The
activity.
interaction between them.
Yes.
And I think one of the real benefits of the training model here is that you receive the training in your first language. So for us, that meant receiving the module and the information in Spanish, and then also empowering the people who go through the class at first to become leaders in their neighborhoods, so that then they can go ahead and pass those lessons and those activities on to other people in their neighborhoods, and kind of with that ripple effect encompass a lot of people.
And they have a bootleg when we have different activities. And I think so at the beginning we say, what is a leader? And they were really quiet. And I say, you are a leader. Remember when you're making tamales with your children, who is the one telling them, no, you need to do it this way, this way? It's me. So you are the leader. You are a leader. And then at the end, like she was saying, they were really strong. And she said, yes, I am a leader. And I say, so you need to show that to your children, and be proud and show that you are a leader. Because you're already doing that. You're already, when they're making tamales, you're telling all the steps, and you're telling how to do it, and they say, I want my mom's tamale because they are the best. So they look in you as a leader. So
Nadia, can you tell me how many families are involved in this project?
there were 20 families. If you see through the picture, there were 20 families, and the whole curriculum is taught by me in Spanish. So they're doing everything. The curriculum is in Spanish. The bootleg that they get is in Spanish, and then all the lesson is in Spanish. So it's in their own language.
And the other thing I think I just want to make sure we mention is because we've had a lot of wonderful sponsors. So one of the reasons we're really excited to move back in our building is because of the building, but also because of that North Side neighborhood and how strong the North Side neighborhood. And Zion Lutheran Church has been a fantastic partner and has actually provided funds for all the transportation to bring people that don't have their own cars, to send a bus so that they could come to school. And they've also provided funds for the evening meal that were there. And then North Dodge Hy-Vee has just been fantastic. And they've provided snacks, they've provided discounts on their pizza. They helped us have a huge graduation cake so that when the families got their diplomas, they could celebrate with the cake. So those two partners have really been instrumental in helping this get off the ground.
It's a good chance to give people who deserve credit, their credit.
Right.
I mean, this is a chance
Right.
to say thank you, because this may motivate other enterprises and other corporations or other institutions to participate and do more than what they are doing now. But
And that transportation piece was giant, because it's a long trip across town in our temporary home, so next year will be even
Close to home.
easier. Yeah.
Okay.
And now you are occupying this central situation in town, right? Rather than being on the periphery and
Right, we'll be back right in the
Back
heart of
right in
things,
the
right
heart.
in the middle.
action.
Yeah. So, and I will tell people that September 12th, which is a Thursday night, we're going to have a big celebration for people to come and see Man, and there'll be, one of the things we're most excited about is they restored the stage that had been sort of boarded up and drywalled over, and the stage has been opened up again, and we have a drumming group that's coming and will be there that night to perform and inaugurate our stage. And so for sure we want to invite, any of our neighbors or alumni from Man to come on September 12th and
Would
join
be quite
us.
a night, huh?
I hope so. I hope it's a night like tonight.
Yeah.
Gorgeous outside.
Right, exactly. So it's a rebirth of man. Okay, where are we going from here? What's your next step?
From our next step is, so like I said, there's more section that we need to go, but our goal is for parents to help their children to get them to college. Because we're going to invite some teachers from the University of Iowa that they can come and talk to the parents and tell them from now that they're in elementary, how can we help our children? What courses they have to take when they get to high school? What financial aid look like? How can I support my children to pay for college? So our goal is for the parents to have all this open that they can go to college. They will go to college.
Super, and it's nice to prepare them from now, rather than wait until they finish their senior years in high school to start considering them.
Yes.
An early preparation. That's excellent. What do you have in stock next? You generate all these ideas.
Well, that's why it's going to be fun this summer to get some things ready for the museum and put some of those, more of those ideas on paper. And we just can't wait, even though we're winding up this year, we can't wait for next year to begin, because so many of our plans for the museum depend on the ideas that the families bring to us. And that's yet to be discovered, just like so many other things at the museum. So we'll be getting some of the installation ideas ready, but I think we'll be, those ideas will just keep coming throughout the summer.
But your responsibility, Stacy, is immense, because it's not only the fact that you wrote the grant, but then you have to report
Right.
the progress all the time, and then you have to document all this, and then the final evaluation,
Right.
which is another task
Right.
by itself.
And I think that the excitement will power us all through all of that documentation. But I think some of it will just be from photographs and the pieces that families bring in and testimonials of the families. And I'm certainly not the only staff member that's going to be working on it. We're a family
Team.
at MAN, so we'll all pitch in on that. And as Julie said, a lot of the things with the Leadership Institute will go hand in hand, and we'll piggyback one off of another. And when those kids and families come in, it'll give us the energy to do those other parts that need to get done so it can continue.
And like she said, there's one lesson here where they say living in two worlds, and then be proud of where you're coming from. And I think so that will fit really good with her project, because in that section they will be learning the skill to say, this is who I am, this is my culture, and then show it in the museum so they will come and go to along.
Right. And those artifacts are going to give us so many windows into the lives of families, and those experiences are going to enrich everybody. We've talked about, like when you brought up the tamales, think of, okay, if somebody brings in for the museum a recipe, could be for tamales, could be for anything, and think about all the fractions that are involved in cooking. Think about the multiplication. If you think, okay, I'm doubling this recipe, I'm tripling this recipe, and if it's in the context of a student's life, they're going to be wired so much more for success.
I have no idea. This museum is the only museum in Iowa City, right? In elementary school.
I think that as far as we know, this is the first one of this kind, which is why I think the foundation, we're so grateful for the foundation, because they're giving us the opportunity to build this from ground zero. And when we were researching and trying to find other things that were similar, it was really difficult to find, percentages or statistics that talked about the success of these types of projects. And so we get to be the first in our area to do this. There's a person named Luis Moll who did a lot of research on funds of knowledge and the advantages of tapping into students' backgrounds and tying those to those areas into the curriculum. And there's been a lot of success nationwide doing that, but from what we could find, there wasn't a museum type of a format, and that's the part that we think is going to be generate a lot of excitement, a lot of academic success, and also a lot of connections with families and kids, and that's what we're all about.
Do you plan to do a presentation on September 14th when you have the parent gathering? And
I don't know how much of a presentation will be on September 12th.
12, yeah.
Yeah, we're just sort of, we have to get this year over and get to summer before we can start planning September 12th. So we'll look for ways to get that information out to people.
Because I think it will be very informative for the community,
Yes.
Yeah,
especially if you invite the press to cover it.
Right.
That would be very important.
right.
It's a remarkable project, and you've done a major effort. And thank you very much for all what your contribution to the community that has been continuing. And I cannot, of course, express our gratitude that you are tonight here presenting this.
We're always happy to come and talk about things that are happening at
And
Man.
Esther and Stacy, and
Thank you.
we can't thank you enough, and we invite you to come again.
Yes.
And our, of course, gratitude to the people who are behind this glass window. Carol, the director of Public Access TV, and Sujet, our program director, and Mr. Michael Jackson, Michael Peterson. and you know him for quite some time.
I've
You
known
taught together, right?
Mike and I taught together for a long time.
He's one of the young people in the district, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, and thank you again for coming. And this program will be on YouTube, hopefully tonight or tomorrow. And we are on Channel 4, that's Iowa City channel, thanks to Ty Coleman and Mr. Crowley, Kevin Crowley, were helping us a lot. And thanks to our team here, and Gerardo Sandoval, our big director here. And Judy, come back again.
I would love to come back again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are saying good night and enjoy the rest of the evening in Iowa City.